pretty much. Um, and so we're gonna talk about some music now. It's my turn to offer up an album, and I offered up. The segment is called Sunday Dinner Albums, and I picked Prince's album "Dirty Mind," which was his sophomore effort. I think third album. He
Third,
did
yeah,
he did
third.
self-titled first, and then the one that's blue, and then his third album. So you're gonna ask me some questions, and I'm gonna answer them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start with obviously, well, maybe viewers don't know, but you're both from Minneapolis, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Um, and I know obviously, we talked offline and stuff for years
Yeah.
about, you being a fan of his and stuff like that. Is it specifically because you're from Minneapolis, but is there a special like lore back in your hometown, with Prince and with the people in that community, like tied to him?
Yes. He uh yeah, I mean, he's only good famous musician to come from it. So someone's gonna
Right,
quote me and find some artist that I don't know about. But no,
right.
he is the man. He's almost mythical figure. Paisley Park is a monument, damn near museum in Minnesota.
Hmm.
He used to own a I forget the name of the lake, but he owned a house around this we called
Minnetonka?
yeah, I think that wasn't Minnetonka. It was
Oh,
I had to ask. I mean, I haven't lived there in 15 years, so it's been a while.
yeah.
But there's a lake that he had a house around that was pretty dope. Where he died was in Minnesota at Paisley
Yep.
Park. Fatality at Paisley Park. I'll never forget it. Had to leave work that day. Um, and so, but I mean, I was on to Prince before we really. I mean, my parents are big Prince fans, and they're from Mississippi.
Same.
Um, so he's just he is a mythical figure in Minnesota lore.
Okay. So this being his third album, came out in 80, so
Correct.
you wouldn't have been born yet.
I was -8.
Uh yeah, -8 years old, preconception.
Yeah.
So how did you find this particular album? Was something your parents played growing up or
No. So obviously you knew the big ones, 1999, Purple
right?
Rain,
Yeah.
fuck, what's the double disc album? Anyways, there's a double disc album.
Yeah.
And so you listen to the hits and then you just want to branch out.
Hmm.
And the reason why I picked this album is because it's a bit off the beaten path. It's not like, one of Prince's major hits. And
Right.
this was how I found it was just, scrolling through the discography. I went had LimeWire at
Hmm.
the time and probably got like six viruses on my parents' computer and downloaded the Prince
Yeah.
discography and was listening to it, and it just was so fucking funky, man.
Yeah.
It just I didn't know what he was talking about at the time. I mean, it's just an
Right.
album about sex, but it just I had there's just something he does that just his music is so funky, it's so alive, it's so special that
Mhm.
you just I don't know. I put it in. It just there's a before and there's an after you hear Prince songs, and he just has a sound
Mhm.
to him that's just. But how I discovered it was just scrolling around the internet. Was like I like Purple Rain, I like
Yeah.
1999, I like Love Sexy, and then just had to go through the whole discography at that point. I want to find out what that double album was.
Okay. Okay. So this is a short project, only 30 minutes.
Yeah.
What's it, like 8 songs?
Yep.
I think, yep, 8 songs. Yeah. So what's your favorite track? What's your favorite track on this album?
Got a Broken Heart again and Do It All Night.
Okay. Okay. I figured it would be Got a Broken Heart Again. Do It All Night is surprising. But I did like that song.
Here's this line. Someone over there says he wants to get to know you, and I'm so scared because I really want to hold you, but I'm so scared because he might do something to you that you like. Um, been
Yeah.
there. And then got a broken heart again. There's just this line where he's just like, doesn't matter what I do, can't stop thinking about you.
Think about
And
you.
it
Yeah.
is just like, I just, there's I don't know. He just sounds different. Like it just,
Yeah. Yeah.
he makes those instruments just sing. I don't know how else to say it. I know sound like I'm just saying words, but
Right.
I mean, it's a different album, but I mean, I'll say that for a different. I was going to talk about Little Red Corvette, but
Okay.
like certain Prince songs just have like a beat, a word, a sound that you just don't
Hmm.
hear anywhere else. And like that Got a Broken Heart
Gotcha.
again when he's just like, I'm not gonna do the voice, but he just like doesn't matter what
Yeah.
I do, can't stop thinking about you. Like I just haven't heard that sound before, and it's just So
Yeah.
yeah, those are my two favorite.
Okay. Okay. Um, do you have a favorite memory of the album? Like a favorite time listening to the album or like
It's
driving
funny.
to it or something like that?
I was thinking about how to answer this question. The answer is no. I don't actually have a favorite memory or a moment or eureka moment for the album. Some shit just
Hmm.
bangs, and
Yeah.
I thought about that when someone was explaining like how there was the verses, right?
Yeah.
And people were like waiting. The Someone would like they play a song, and then someone will be like, "What's the story behind that
Hmm.
song?" And then artists would oftentimes like just say some, it was this. It's like you could just tell they were just like, I don't know, man,
Yeah.
shit just bang. Like I was like, there's not like you watch
Yeah.
these music biopics, and like it gives you
Hmm.
this like so like Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're standing outside the studio, and the cops like throw them up against the wall, and Ice Cube's like, "Man, fuck the police," and then they go in the studio, and they're like, "Fuck the
Yeah.
police," and
Fuck
it's
the
like
police.
that's for movies. Like people think there's
Right.
like these grand eureka moments, and no, oftentimes it's 3 a.m. and some chord hits, and they're like, "That shit bangs," and they just flesh it out,
Yeah.
and there's no grand eureka moment like in the movies. So I just
Got you.
remember sitting there
Yeah, I
and
feel you.
when I was watching Straight Outta Compton, I was like, I don't think that's how that went.
Yeah, that's not how that. Like, you mean to tell me that was the first time you felt like fuck the police in your life? Okay,
It
bro.
was like
Like,
it's just
all
you could almost
right.
see like the bubble come out of their head in the movie, like fuck the
Hmm.
police. It's
Yeah.
like nah,
Let's write a hook to this.
no. There's no life moment or special attachment to it. Shit just bangs. So I tried to come up with something, and I just felt like I
Yeah.
was reaching because I was reaching.
Um,
So what were your thoughts on it,
okay.
man? Is that your
So
first time listening to it?
yeah, it was. It was my first time listening. I played it probably 3 to 4 times
Yeah,
today. Um, so let's see. I think I really like it. I like it. It is very different. It's very much him. Like when I listened to like the first song, I was like, yeah, this is Prince. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know how when certain artists like you go back to like their early work and
yeah.
you're like you could see like the framework, but you don't really, you know what I mean? Um, this album, I was like, yeah, no, that's him. He had his sound and that he knew who and what he was right away, and he knew his lane, and he
What's
didn't
wild
deviate
is
from that
that
because his lane was no lane.
What's wild is that he hadn't blown up yet. He didn't actually blow up to
Right.
1999, which was his fourth album. That's rare to
Yeah.
go three
Which is
albums
crazy. First of all, to
without
get
blowing
three
up.
albums to not blow up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Um, I think so like listening to it just like straight through. Dirty Mind, I like the instrumentation. I wasn't crazy about I don't know if I wasn't crazy about the lyrics or just the fact that that was the way the album opened. Like he
Yeah,
didn't like ease you into it. He just like
no,
hit you in the face like
no. He you can it's rustic. It's before
yeah,
he got the polish and before he kind of found how to structure things. It's
sequence an
very
album.
much
Yeah.
it's almost like a new school. It's just a playlist. Like there's no real sequencing to it. It's just
Right, correct.
nine songs.
That's funny you say that. That was something I want to talk about because I literally like I've obviously we both love albums and listen to a lot of albums. And there's a thing what artists can do where if they really want to uh what's the word? Like enchant an audience, they'll
Yeah.
put a certain song first rather than, third or fourth or fifth in the album. Like for
Yeah.
example, like a famous one is like Yeezus by Kanye. He's like a lot of people didn't like that album. And he's like,
Yeah.
I know what I could have done to make y'all love that album right away. He's like, I could have put Blood on the Leaves first and y'all would have loved it. But he was like, nah, fuck that. I wanted to hit you in the fucking face with New Slaves or whatever the first on site. And so you would know this was not an album to make you feel
You know what's
good,
funny? I like Yeezus right away.
I did too. I like Jesus.
I mean,
Um,
it's
it's
funny
a
how
punk album. It's a rock album.
yeah, it's funny how you can almost see which protege he was working with at the time. Like that's a Travis Scott
Yes.
album. Like very
100%.
much,
Yeah,
very much so.
100%.
And it's just interesting how he does that. But I will say
Yeah.
like the most to speak to hype on like good and bad first track placings. I maintain that Kaleidoscope Game Dreams by Miguel is supremely
Hmm.
overrated because the first track is Adorn, which is just a perfect song. But
Mm,
like if you listen to
yeah.
the rest of those songs, you're like, this album falls off. hard. And people love that album, and
You
I'm
know
like,
what?
you just love Adorn, which is literally a perfect composition.
Yeah, I feel
Uh,
that way. I feel that way about Magna Carta Holy Grail.
yeah,
Like that first joint slapped, and there's like five or six joints in the first
yeah,
half of the album that are incredible,
yeah,
and then Jay just like ran out of things to say
yeah.
in the second half of the album.
Yeah, it was
Um,
that song with Justin Timberlake,
yeah,
Holy Grail, and it's just like
yeah,
it's a Justin Timberlake song, which Jay was smart
correct.
to do because Justin was white hot at the time. But that's my
Yeah,
second least favorite Jay album. It's not good.
yeah, I'm not mad at
Yeah,
that take.
Kingdom Come was just
Come,
straight up
yeah.
like a garbage disposal album. And like Magna Carta Holy Grail was just like regular bad, but it was bad.
Yeah, right. Um, but yeah, so yeah, Dirty Mind, that was cool. I really loved When You Were Mine. I love
Oh, I
that
love that
song.
song.
I wish it was longer, but I love like I would have taken 5 minutes of that song.
Yeah.
I like Do It All Night. Broken Heart Again is probably my favorite song on the album. Between that or When You Were Mine, they're neck and neck. Um, Uptown was dope. I really
Yeah.
fuck with Uptown. I like the storytelling on the song too.
Those are the
Um,
last that's the last good song of the album because Party Up and Head are not good songs. Um
Okay, I'm glad you. Okay, I'm glad you said that. All right. Okay, first of all, yeah, because first of all, so Head is basically Throat Baby, but
yeah.
in the '80s with more synthesizers on it.
Yeah.
The song about fucking his sister, I could went my whole life without hearing that one.
Prince is a weird dude.
Um, by the way, so you know me, I had to do some research. I was like, hold the fuck up. So I went to Google and I was like, I just typed Prince sister song, and apparently, so the backstory is that actually did happen allegedly. One of his older half sisters, I guess, he was 16,
Became
so clearly
yeah. Yeah.
he couldn't
Clearly
consent.
this song was inspired by some sort of event.
Traumatic event, yeah, and he said he had an interview when he was young, and they asked him about it, and he was like, "Yeah, people like thought the song was a joke or like that I was trying to be funny." He was like, "No, it was serious," and he was like, "That's why I stopped doing interviews because people took my words out of context when I talk about that song."
So there's a shelved Prince documentary by Ezra Edelman.
Hmm.
Because there's
I
a
think I know that
state
name.
he's the dude who did the OJ documentary.
Okay, yeah.
And because his estate has just blocked it. Because part of journalism is you let your subject see the product before you release it. And so
Right.
they like sued to block it. And who knows if it'll ever get released. It's with Netflix right now.
Mm,
Um, and it's like real journalism. It's not, you're gonna see the good, the bad, and the ugly of Prince because, there's
hmm.
some domestic violence issues there with women he's dated. Some of the women he dated were
Correct.
quite young for his age. I don't know if illegal young, but definitely
Immoral Young.
distasteful at best.
Yeah.
And so it's like 6 hours long, and the people who have seen it, Pablo Torre has seen it,
Okay.
journalist for Metal Arc Media, and he's
Yeah.
like, it's just as good, if not better, than the OJ documentary. And the OJ documentary is the best
Mm,
documentary I've ever seen. So
I've ever seen. Yeah.
yeah.
OJ and fuck. What's the title? The Bulls one. Damn it.
Oh,
Last Dance.
The
Last
Last
Dance.
Dance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Last Dance. Best sports docs I've ever seen.
I love Jordan, but that was
I
a
mean, it was
Nike ad.
editorialized, obviously. That's true.
That was a
Yeah.
Nike ad.
But damn it if it wasn't inspiring.
And it was during the pandemic, so it fed us.
COVID, yeah. Yeah,
You
no,
want
dead ass, yo.
you want to